Welcome. Tonight, the air is sharp, the shadows are deep, and the veil is thinner than a spider's silk. As the last leaves fall and the world exhales into a deeper slumber, we gather here to honor the turning point, the magnificent, sometimes terrifying, night of Samhain. This is the time of transformation, and we're going to illuminate the shadows by looking at the vibrant, fierce beasts and ancient symbols that mark this powerful season. Settle in, because we're about to unveil the wild heart of the dark days. So while the veil is thin and the night is still young, let's begin. We know that Christmas has Santa and his dark counterpart Krampus. But do you know any of the darker beasts that come to play during Samhain? Let me introduce you to some of them to get us started. First, we have the black sow. Children were warned with chants to hurry home before the beast caught them. In Wales, the night before winter, or Nos Galan Gaeaf, was a sprint from firelight to locked doors. Children ran home chanting protection charms because the last one left in the dark belonged to the tailless black sow. Picture it: a bulk darker than night, no tail, eyes like dull embers. It watches the ring of bonfires until the fires lean low. Then it moves, quietly, patiently, toward whoever lingers. The black sow doesn't chase the bold. It eats the slow. It is winter's hunger given teeth. Some say it's a guardian turned devourer, a beast born to cull the stragglers so the rest learn to respect the veil. Others say it's only the old fear of being last, translated into flesh. Either way, the rhyme is clear. Home now before the sow. The Dullahan. From Ireland rises the Dullahan, a headless horseman who carries his own skull like a lantern to see the names written in the darkness. A black horse foaming at the bit, iron-shod hooves sparking on stone. The rider's head grins, eyes wide as if pinned open, and the right arm holds a spine-stitched whip. He speaks only once per visit, just one name. If the Dullahan stops at your door, the house soon will dress in mourning. He is the herald, not the judge. No charm buys him off, no lock denies him entry. The Dullahan reminds us that on Samhain, death does not knock. It arrives, announced by only the one word that matters. The Slua. Across Scotland and Ireland swarm the Slua, the host of the unforgiven dead. They do not walk, they travel on the wind, a flock of silhouettes that stretch and fold like wings. People barred west-facing windows on this night because the Slua favored the western path. A tide of soul thieves slipping through shutters to pluck the dying from their beds and drag them skyward, away from prayers they had not earned. They are what happens when community fails, when burial is botched, when rites are refused. The Slua exist to remind you the dead have their customs too, and neglect is a debt that collects with interest. The Puka. The Puka is Ireland's shapeshifter, never quite friend, never quite foe. On Samhain, it roams the hedgerows, deciding which fields earn mercy and which earn blight. It prefers a black horse's form, slick coat, intelligent eyes, but it can be a goat, a dog, or something that wears these bodies like a mask. It laughs like a person, but the joke is on you. Travelers who accept a midnight ride wake in places maps completely forgot. Crops that displease it sour at dawn. Offerings leave little baskets at the edge of the field, milk, bread, sweet things meant to coax the wild into kindness. But the puka is nature with agency, a personality behind the frost. The Kalia. When Samhain crowns winter, it crowns the Kalia, the old woman of storms, bones, and stone. She is not a ghost. She is a sovereignty. She raises mountains as easily as you stack kindling. Her staff drops frost. Her breath hardens rivers. In some tales, she captures summer, locks it in a hidden well, and rations daylight as if it were a debt owed to her alone. The Kalia is the contract of the dark half of the year. You don't appease her with trinkets. You appease her by surviving, mending, storing, and taking the hard season seriously. On this night, dedicate your caution to her. the Ishi, the people of the mounds, are not pixies with sugar wings. They are neighbors with power and memory, living under hills where time doesn't keep human hours. On Samhain, doors open in green places, a light at the hill's root. Music that sounds like your mother calling from the next room. Step wrong and the other world takes your measure. Some come back changed. Some don't come back. The rule is simple and ancient. Do not trespass, and do not refuse hospitality. Leave offerings. Keep to marked paths. The Ishi punish arrogance, but they respect courtesy better than most kings. And much like Santa teaches children to be good for presents, and Krampus teaches kids to be good or be taken, these too have a lesson. The Black Sow teaches swiftness. The Doulahan, acceptance. The Slua, responsibility. The Puka, respect. And the Kalia, endurance. So you see, Samhain was never meant to be safe. It was meant to be honest. So tonight, as the world leans into winter, light your candle. Leave your offering. Call the names of your dead with gentleness. And if something on the wind calls yours, bow your head and let the night pass by. I have some honorable mentions, not to be ignored, to include the Banshee, a fairy woman from Irish folklore whose wail is a death omen. The Water Horse, a wicked shape-shifting creature from Irish mythology. Lady Gwyn, a headless woman dressed in white who, with her black pig, would chase people who were caught wandering at night. Yes, that black pig. So now I'm going to move on to a few animals that are associated with Samhain. Most of these you're going to recognize from today's Halloween, but I will give you the symbolism and what their meaning is. First, we have the black cat, often seen as guardians of the spirit realm. They are believed to move easily between the physical and spiritual planes. Bats. They symbolize transition and rebirth due to their nocturnal nature and liminal habitat in caves and shadows. Owls. They represent wisdom and the ability to see hidden truths. Their connection to the night also makes them gods through the mystery of Samhain. Crows and ravens, which are considered omens and messengers. They symbolize wisdom, prophecy, and the connect to the spirit world. Spiders symbolize weaving the threads between the worlds and are sometimes seen as watching the spirits. The stag and the wolf. associated with spiritual guidance, and they are seen as messengers between the realms. And the pig, a significant sacrificial animal in some traditions, particularly the wild boar, which is associated with supernatural properties and feasting during the season. And just in case you may be into what you can use to protect yourselves tonight, some crystals and what they do. Black obsidian, a powerful protector that deflects negativity and clears energy blockages. Smoky quartz, excellent for grounding energy, especially during shadow work, spirit work, and divination. Black tourmaline provides grounding and protection. And last, we have onyx, which offers balance and energy for personal growth. And now for the colors associated with Samhain. Again, you're going to recognize most of these associated with today's Halloween. Black, of course, which represents the coming winter, the unknown, the night, and the endings. It is also associated with protection of the spirit world. Orange symbolizes the dying harvest, like pumpkins and gourds, and the bonfire flames of Samhain. It also represents the vitality of life within the cycle of death and transformation. Red connects the ancestors and the life-death cycle, representing passion and sacrifice. Purple encourages psychic abilities, wisdom, intuition, and spiritual connection, which are all important aspects of Samhain. And last but not least, gold and yellow, which represents the final rays of the harvest and the dying light of the sun. The ancient spirits and beasts of this night ask us to honor the mystery of Samhain. Whether you celebrate with revelry or quiet remembrance, keep your protective wards high, look out for one another, and keep the home fires burning. And may you and yours be safe and secure, gathering the strength that will allow you to thrive all winter long. Happy Halloween, Muses. I hope that you have had an amazingly spooky day. Thank you for coming to hang out with us, whether that is during the live chat or later on in the replay. We would still love to interact with you afterward in the comments as you listen. Amy, how has your day been?
My day has been good.
Has it?
It's been fantabulous.
Has it been an awesome day?
It has.
Good.
Are we acknowledging the fact that it's Monday?
No.
Okay. It has been great.
It's Monday, the 27th for us, just so everyone is aware.
We have a place now called the Zoology Zone, and they came to our school, and I got to hold a skink.
Oh, yay.
I was a little nervous about holding the skink because there was a bearded dragon and I really wanted to hold that one, but they needed the teachers to hold them and take them around for the kids to touch. And of course, I get the skink that I was a little shady about whether or not I was like, do I want to hold that or not? And they had 3 snakes there, but when the when the really big one got pulled out, one of the teachers kindly exited. Well, more than one. She's an interim. She kindly just exited. She'd be like, Amy, what's coming out of that box? And I'd be like, hold on. Well, that's a snake. And it's a big one. And she bailed right on out the door. Meanwhile, I'm like, can I have that?
Right. Does it need booped?
It did need booping. I can't remember now what it was. Maybe a ball python? It was
probably a
colored.
python. Yeah.
And then there was another snake that's not a python, but the other kind. I'll think of it in a minute. And then there was one, and its name was Oreo, and it was some type of king snake. Do you know what king snake is? Like if it's
black,
blah, blah, blah.
Black with the speckles, like white, like little
This was white with black speckles.
Oh.
Maybe a California king snake?
It may have been. Because that's what we have here is the king snakes.
Do you know what that means when you say king snake? You don't? It means they eat other snakes. I need you to fact check me, but I swear that's what that kid said.
That is true because we leave them alone here.
Okay.
We don't mess with them because they kill copperheads.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was taught that pretty quickly. Do you remember the time that I said that I bent over to put a solar light by my fence in the backyard and there was a little tiny little snake about this far from my face, like right after I moved here?
Yeah.
It was a little baby king snake, but they're everywhere. But yeah, they kill copperheads. So we don't mess with those.
It was news to me. I didn't know. I don't mind a snake. I don't want to be startled by a snake.
Well,
I don't want to be startled by anything, but snakes don't really bother me.
Well, that's one of my things here is like, I'll recognize king snakes pretty quick. And of course, I know what copperheads look like. That we've had those everywhere that I've been. But my thing is, I don't know all of the snakes here and what they look like. So if it's not a king snake and I can see it close enough to me and I don't recognize then I don't want any part of it because,
you don't know what it is. You might don't want it to be eaten. You would
I'd rather not. So
I also pet a hissing cockroach.
Ew. Okay, listen, I love things.
You love bug carcasses.
Critters.
Stop lying.
Yeah. No.
I didn't want to. Like, I knew she had it in her hand, and here I am.
You didn't want to.
That I didn't exactly want to be holding the skink.
Also
either, but I ended up being okay with him, and I turned my head, and I see her, and I'm like, and it's the lady from the zoology zone, because obviously, who's going to carry around this La Cucaracha? And I went very calmly, I'm scared to death of that thing, and I wish to pet it.
I mean,
she goes, okay, and I went, and I pet it just with my one little finger.
How'd that go?
I was like, oh, do you know they don't?
You're like, that
doesn't gross.
Feel like I thought it was going to feel.
That doesn't feel like I want to squish it. It doesn't feel like that at all. It felt, because they have that ridged back, it almost felt similar to the skink I was holding, but the skink, of course, has scales. Yeah.
Right.
It was, But anyway, that was that adventure.
I'm fine.
You don't want to pet a hissing cockroach?
I don't.
Shall we get started on our Samhain stories?
Yes.
Enough of that yammering. I wish to tell you a horror story real quick.
Okay.
Are you ready to hear it?
Is this a real life horror story real quick?
No. I'm going to tell you a horror story.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to tell you a story.
The story.
The last man on earth sat alone in a room. There was a knock at the door. The end.
I don't like it.
That is the world's shortest horror story, and it was written and published in 1948 by Frederick Brown.
Frederick Brown is a genius.
Yeah, he is.
Because, wow.
Right. Okay, well. Happy Halloween! I hope you had a great time trick-or-treating. Speaking of, trick-or-treating is a Halloween custom with roots stretching back over 2,000 years, blending ancient Celtic rituals, medieval Christian practices, and modern American traditions into the candy-filled night we know today. Let's have a quick look at how it evolved. Samhain was a Celtic festival marking the end of harvest and the beginning of winter, celebrated around October 31st. On this day, people believed the boundary between the living and the dead was thinnest, allowing spirits to roam. Offerings of food and drink were left outside homes to appease wandering souls, an early version of treats. Villagers sometimes wore disguises to avoid being recognized by spirits, foreshadowing Halloween costumes. Before I get any further into this, I have an important side note. The 3-day period from October 31st to November 2nd, when the living sought to aid the souls of the departed through prayers and almsgiving, is known as All Hallowtide. October 31st is All Hallows Eve, November 1st is All Saints' Day, and November 2nd is All Souls' Day. By the Middle Ages, the Church adapted Samhain into All Saints' Day, November 1st, and All Souls' Day, November 2nd. And the poor, actually, especially children, would go door to door offering prayers for the dead in exchange for food, often soul cakes. This is called souling, and this laid the groundwork for later guising and trick-or-treat customs. Its timing during All Hallowtide connected it to themes of remembrance and community care, a heritage still echoed in modern Halloween's spirit of sharing treats. Another note on souling: some communities welcomed soulers at nightfall on All Hallows' Eve as part of Hallowtide observances. Souling continued on All Saints' Day with prayers offered for all saints, blending festivity and piety. All Souls' Day was the principal day for souling, when children and the poor went door to door requesting soul cakes in exchange for prayers for the dead's release from purgatory. Guising in Scotland and Ireland is when children dressed in costumes and performed songs, jokes, or tricks in exchange for treats. And this practice is a direct ancestor of modern trick-or-treating. In 17th century Britain, Guy Fawkes Night, November 5th, added another layer. Children begged for a penny for the guy, sometimes threatening mischief if refused. This blend of begging, disguise, and mild extortion carried over into colonial America through Irish and Scottish immigrants. By the 19th century, Irish immigrants had brought Halloween customs to the U.S., where they merged with local harvest festivals. During the early 20th century, Halloween became associated with pranks and vandalism, especially among young people. In the 1930s and 40s, communities promoted trick-or-treating as a safe, family-friendly alternative to mischief. The phrase trick-or-treat first appeared in print in the U.S. in the 1920s. There was a post-World War II boom due to sugar rationing being lifted. Candy companies heavily marketed Halloween, cementing candy as the central treat. Today, trick-or-treating is most common in the U.S., Canada, and parts of Europe, though variations exist worldwide. The trick element, threatening mischief, has largely faded, replaced by the expectation of candy. Porch lights, decorations, and community events signal participation, keeping the tradition alive as both a neighborhood ritual and a commercial holiday. Bambi, how much do you love how our Halloween traditions started?
I love our Halloween traditions, beginnings. I think it's cool how it evolved from the darker stuff into the more fun stuff that we have now.
Right. I like the blending of the practices. I just feel like now it has become a lot of, there are still a lot of places that are like, oh no, that's Satanists. Satanists go trick-or-treating, and that's clearly not it.
Not even close.
No.
Yeah. That's not how that worked.
It is not. All right, Muses, what was your Halloween costume this year? What was your favorite candy? I want to talk to you about some Halloween costumes and candies through the years. We already know that Halloween's roots trace back to the Celtic festival of Samhain. Let's get into the history of popular costumes and candies through the years. In Samhain's beginning, people disguised themselves from roaming spirits or to blend in with the dead. They'd paint their faces, cover themselves in animal hides, anything they could use to confuse the wandering spirits and protect themselves. Over time, these face-painted disguises evolved into more elaborate masks and costumes, but were still meant to ward off ghosts or fool mischievous fairies. Costumes based on film, radio, and literary characters briefly appeared in the 1930s. But by the 1950s, children could purchase virtually any character they wanted, soldiers, animals, or sci-fi heroes, and go trick-or-treating in style. Witch, skeleton, and devil motifs still sold well, but the era marked a shift toward licensed and themed costumes in mass production. From the 1970s onward, blockbuster movies and TV shows drove costume trends. In the 1970s, Star Wars characters like Darth Vader, C-3PO, and Luke Skywalker dominated kids' costumes alongside early comic book heroes such as Spider-Man and Wonder Woman. In the 1980s, superheroes such as Batman and Superman, Ghostbusters, and horror icons like Freddy Krueger became perennial favorites. In the 1990s, Disney princesses, Power Rangers, and Jurassic Park dinosaurs reflected the rise of family-friendly franchises. In the 2000s, Harry Potter costumes and an ever-expanding roster of superheroes took center stage. The 2010s saw the Avengers superheroes and villains alongside Frozen's Elsa and even emoji-inspired get-ups. By the 2020s, social media trends, eco-friendly DIY costumes, and mashups of viral memes had driven how people dress up for October 31st. Before we get into the sweets, I have some Halloween questions for you, Bambi, and for any of our muses who want to chime in. What has been your favorite Halloween costume for yourself? And you can reach back to your childhood if you want to, as far back as you want.
Oh, I'm going to have to go back to the childhood ones because they were so much better. Even though as an adult, I can do whatever I feel like doing.
Right.
But I don't know. It would be a cross between Rainbow Bright, and I don't know how old I was, but I was very small. And then Punky Brewster had a good run for about 3 or 4 years.
Man, I dressed as Punky Brewster as an adult.
To be fair, but I basically dressed like Punky Brewster on the daily. So, yeah, it was kind of my thing, but it was every day. I was ridiculous, but let's be fair, that's not really gone away all that much.
Right.
I'm a little milder now. But yeah, it would definitely be. I would say my favorite, as far as, not something that I did all the time, of course, would be I did Rainbow Bright. That was probably my favorite because my mom actually painted, like, she did little streaks in my hair, and
oh wow,
and it was the plastic mask.
Oh yeah, with the one little slit for you to breathe through.
Yeah, you couldn't.
And the two tiniest nose
breathe. You couldn't see anything. It was just, but those were the best. I don't care what anybody says. They were.
I agree. They were terrible. Let's bring them back.
The trash bag top,
little thicker than a trash bag. It was more like
very slightly,
not quite a body bag, but a little sturdier than.
Yeah, it's the plastic party tablecloth, not today's plastic tablecloths, because today's plastic tablecloths,
because today's are like, crap.
You just look at it and it rips, but like the old ones, the real ones. But yeah, that's what they reminded me of.
Was it rubber? Was it plastic? I don't know.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows what they were made of.
What has been your favorite Halloween memory? Do you have one?
My son was born on Halloween. We weren't dressed up by any means, but
well, of course not.
I certainly wasn't.
By all accounts, you were probably in the nude.
I was undressed, technically speaking. However, yeah, I didn't get candy or a costume, but I did get a cheeseburger after 2 entire days of labor. So,
oh my goodness!
Shout out to Nurse Jennifer from 25 years ago. I will never forget.
Would he be 25?
He would be 25 on Friday.
Wow.
I know. That's my thoughts. But I will never forget that woman because the entire 2 days I cried. Not because of pain. There was a lot of that too. But I just wanted a cheeseburger. That's all I wanted. So she promised me after the first day that as soon as I had him, she was going to get me a cheeseburger. And she followed through with that. As soon as they would let me have food. Yeah. I cried the whole time I ate it, and then it made me sick because I shouldn't have been eating it, but whatever. It was fine. It was still worth it. I know. So yeah.
I didn't even think about it being Jonathan's birthday when I wrote that question. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. That's okay.
Happy birthday to Jonathan. While dressing up is a bonus for Halloween festivities, I think the real star are the treats. So grab your favorite treat and get comfy, boils and ghouls. We're going to learn a little history on treats. Long before candy dominated Halloween, households handed out soul cakes, which are small spice pastries to souling children and poor neighbors on All Hallows Eve. In rural communities, apples, nuts, and other harvest foods were common giveaways, and games like bobbing for apples tied treats directly to fall's produce. Candy corn first appeared in the 1880s as chick feed, produced by Philadelphia's Wonderly Candy Company. Its tricolored kernels quickly became synonymous with Halloween, cementing a new category, molded, bite-sized candies sold by the pound. Through the early 20th century, other confections, taffy, caramels, and fruit-flavored hard candies joined candy corn in treat bowls. By the 1920s, trick-or-treating had gained traction in American towns, and packaged candies replaced coins or fruit as the primary offering. Iconic chocolate bars rose to prominence. Milky Way debuted in 1923, becoming a go-to bar for trick-or-treaters. Snickers followed in 1930, blending nougat, caramel, peanuts, and chocolate. M&M's launched in 1941, their hard candy shell, making them ideal for little hands and candy dishes alike. Brands leveraged Halloween's popularity to push seasonal variations and tie-ins. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, first produced in 1963, became a perennial favorite, its sweet, salty profile standing out in a sea of pure chocolate. The 1970s saw a surge in creative sweets like Pop Rocks and Laffy Taffy, while Reese's Pieces became a major hit after their 1978 debut. In the 1980s, Skittles, Sour Patch Kids, Fun Dip, and Reese's Pieces, boosted by the movie E.T., were among the most popular, cementing their place as Halloween staples. Just a note, classic candy bars like Snickers and Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Three Musketeers, and Nestle Crunch Bars were also constantly popular through the 70s and 80s. The 1990s and 2000s saw franchise crossovers, such as Harry Potter-themed sweets, while gummy novelties and sour candies joined the lineup. I have another Halloween question for you, Bambi.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your favorite Halloween candy? And this is the one that is not up for trade, that was never up for trade when you and your brothers would dump out your loot bags.
I had two for that, and then a follow-up, or a runner-up, rather. Reese's was actually my favorite, and Reese's Pieces was my second. And then those weird peanut butter, the sticky toffee things with peanut butter in the middle. That
the
has
black and orange wrappers.
The orange and black peanut butter things. Those were my other one. But nobody really wanted those but me, so I got them anyway.
Okay, so I actually didn't mind those things either. And one of my favorite things to eat, thank you, great-grandpa, is Mary Jane's. So I'm always very excited when somebody has some old school candies.
Right.
They pass them out.
Yeah, I wasn't a big chocolate person or the fruity candies and stuff, but if it had peanut butter involved, I was on it. It didn't even matter, really.
I am weird about peanut butter candies. It has to be the correct
that still weirds me out.
Peanut butter to chocolate ratio.
Yeah.
How do you eat your Reese cups?
I eat anything. Okay. See, this is where you're going to get my weird. This goes for sandwiches or any food that's round.
I love every weird little quirk about you, ma'am.
I eat around it, and then I eat the middle.
So, do you know how I eat one?
No.
I pop the middle out and eat the middle first because I don't like the middle. And then I eat the good part. Your face. Your face just asked me what was wrong.
Not even a little weird.
I mean, think about it. Together we can rule the world. I will pop the middles out. You can eat those, and I can have your outside.
A dream come true for me. Hey guys, we forgot to throw this into our opener, but it is currently Bat Appreciation Week. So,
happy Bat Appreciation
Week.
Okay.
Welcome, muses. Tonight, we journey into the shadows of history and the darkness of true crime. We'll begin in the misty mountainous region of Transylvania, exploring the chilling legend of Scholomance, a rumored school of dark arts where the devil himself is said to be the headmaster. From ancient forbidden knowledge, we pivot to the shocking 1980s cold case, the brutal murder of film executive Ronald Sisman and his companion, Elizabeth Platzman, in their New York apartment. A crime entangled with whispers of a dark secret and a sinister conspiracy. Then we delve into the cryptic world of dark manuscripts, flesh and bone relics, artifacts that bridge history and the macabre. Finally, we turn our attention to a modern mystery that haunts the Ozarks, the disturbing 2014 disappearance of young Aisha Jackson from Arkansas. Join us as we connect these fragile threads of the strange and the terrifying. Let's go. Welcome back, muses. I hope that you have had an amazingly spooky day. How is your day going, Amy?
It's going.
Is it going?
It's going.
Right.
It's been wound up today, but
yeah,
I'm here now. We're doing this, and that's better.
Yes, we are.
I'm just very tired today.
I am too. It was gloomy today, and it made me lazy. I still got a lot done, but I whined about it the entire time to myself. So,
well, I love a gloomy day. It's my
I do
favorite.
too.
It was gloomy here today, and it rained, and I was really sad when it stopped raining.
Yeah.
I just want it to rain.
It didn't do a lot of raining here, but it did some raining here. And it was cooler until about 2. Now it's just very humid and warm. It's just...
I'm not built for that kind of weather.
Well, I'm not either, but here we are. A lot of sweating, even in October. Halloween's fun because you leave the house to go trick-or-treating and it's 84 degrees or more with the humidity of that. And then by the time you're done, it's like 40.
How in Tarhooties? Wait, 80 to 40? So
there is a 30 degree. It's generally at least a 30 degree difference every single day. Yes.
Wow. Sometimes like a 5 degree difference or more between my house and the holler. But not 30.
No, generally speaking, it's 30 degrees.
How do you decide how to dress for Halloween trick-or-treating?
You don't.
You just wear all the things.
Pick out and suffer one way or the other. All right, guys. So tonight we are going to descend quite literally into the depths of myth and madness. So hidden beneath the shadow of the Transylvanian Alps, there's said to be a school, but not the kind of school that fills its halls with laughter or the smell of chalk and ink. This is Scholomance.
Is this like the Romanian version of Hogwarts?
Sure. Not even a little bit.
It could be if you got it right.
It absolutely.
Okay. I was just going to submit an application.
You don't want to do that. No.
Are you sure? Some days I might.
1,000% sure. You don't want to do that. So
okay.
No, ma'am. Okay. So Scholomance is an infernal academy where the devil himself is said to teach the blackest of arts.
Oh, so this is Sabrina the Teenage Witch's School.
Yeah. That's the
Netflix show. Have you not watched it?
I have.
Also not it? Okay.
No. Okay. This is a place where 13 students at a time study in darkness, where the thunder is their applause and the lightning their illumination. And when the lessons end, one student is claimed, body and soul, by the master below.
Okay, I was with you until that point. I don't want to go there now.
Oh, man, we just started, so it's not.
I'm a little frightened.
Okay. So tonight we will talk about the old Carpathian paths that led to that forbidden door. We'll peel back the layers of Romanian folklore, ancient rites, and whispered superstitions until we reach the beating heart of the legend itself. Let's begin where all legends do, in the mist. The story of the Scholomance comes from Romanian folklore, particularly from Transylvanian region, where mountains shroud villages like secrets and superstition lingers thicker than smoke. The Scholomanta, or Scholomance, likely comes from a distorted version of Solomon. Yes, King Solomon, the biblical leader famed for wisdom and for binding demons at his will. In these tales, Solomon was not just wise. He was a magician, a conjurer of spirits, and perhaps the first headmaster of this blasphemous academy. The legend was popularized by none other than Bram Stoker, who mentioned it briefly in Dracula. His notes show he researched Transylvanian folklore extensively, and the Scholomance, as he wrote it, fascinated him. So in Stoker's words, in the Scholomance, the scholars learn the secrets of nature, the language of beasts, and all incantations. But at the end of the course, the devil takes one of the scholars for his due.
Oh, okay. Well, that's... Like, do you know ahead of time? If you're...
No, you have to be the best of the 13. It's like if the
So-
devil picked the valedictorian.
Okay, and then
And then we'll learn
he's
what
gonna take your soul.
happens with the rest of them.
Yeah. 13 students.
Right.
The number of the divine feminine. 13 is the number of the divine feminine.
I know. All right. So, yes, he takes 1 out of the 13. So let's see what the haps is down here in the school below the earth. So imagine, if you will, a hidden passage somewhere deep in the Fagarush Mountains, a cave mouth disguised by moss and stone, where a cold wind sighs a dying prayer. Local legend says that beneath Lake Hermanstadt, near the city of Sibiu, lies the entrance to Scholomance. The lake itself is said to cover the roof of the infernal school. When storms gather, lightning forks across its waters, the devil, it is said, striking his blackboard in rage or revelation. The school is no ordinary classroom. There are no candles, no windows, no sun. For 7 years, the chosen 13 students dwell underground in complete darkness. They eat little, sleep rarely, and are forbidden to leave. Their lessons, not arithmetic or grammar, but the language of serpents, weather manipulation, necromancy, alchemy, and the binding of spirits.
Okay. They study in complete darkness.
Yes.
For 7 years.
7 years.
I mean, eventually their eyeballs are going to adjust to the dark.
Right.
It's okay.
The devil himself, often called the Solomonar or the Solomonari in Romanian myth, is both teacher and jailer. He tests his pupils relentlessly. He shows them how to summon rain, command dragons, and ride tempests. And when the 7 years are up, he chooses one to stay. That unlucky soul never returns to the surface of the world. They are said to become the weather master, a servant of the devil who commands storms from the heavens, riding atop a dragon or serpent, wielding the power to destroy crops, call down hail, and summon famine. So the other 12 who escape the Scholomance are not truly free. They become Solomonari, wandering magicians, feared and shunned by villagers. Descriptions vary. Some say they wear long white robes, other black cloaks, embroidered with strange sigils. They carry great books bound in dragon hide, filled with infernal secrets. Some claim they are immortal. Others say their eyes burn like the stormlight, never adjusting to the sun after years of darkness. So when a Solomonar appeared in a Romanian village, it was both a curse and a blessing. Farmers would beg them to bring rain during droughts or chase away storms before harvest. But if offended, denied bread, drink, or lodging, they could unleash ruin upon the land. They were said to ride dragons, enormous serpent-like creatures known as Valori, hidden in mountain lakes until summoned. When a Solomonar mounted his beast and took to the sky, thunder rolled and hail followed. The people below would cross themselves, whispering prayers against the storm. So that's what happens to the other 12. All right, so now let's discuss the rituals, bondings, and the blood. Let's descend deeper into the rituals said to be practiced within the Scholomance. Legends claim the initiation begins with a pact of silence. The student must renounce light, warmth, and the company of humankind. They swear themselves to the study of forbidden knowledge, written in tongues long dead. Their lessons might include summoning and binding spirits by blood, bone, and breath, alchemy of corruption, transforming holy relics into profane talismans, necromantic communion, speaking with the dead for knowledge of the afterlife, and perhaps the most blasphemous of it all, the creation of storms through sacrifice. It's said that when a student wished to call thunder, They had to offer the devil something like a bird, maybe a lamb, but sometimes a human. The storm's strength depended on the value of the offering. If a student ever tried to leave early or refused the lessons, the devil would send a balor to drag them back into the abyss.
Oh my God.
Right. So there was no leaving. There was no refusing to do the lesson. And once you're there, you're there.
Okay.
And so if you had to sacrifice things in order to call the thunder, which was required of you, you could give, a bird. But if the value of the offering is what brings down the most, it would have to be a human.
So this is you're sacrificing them. You're not just being like, here, devil, here's you and a little student. Here.
No. It was a sacrifice. It was a blood offering. So what was the price of this knowledge? It's easy to think of the Scholomance as just myth, a gothic ghost story whispered by candlelight, of course. But these tales reflect a real fear that haunted early Eastern Europe, the terror of forbidden knowledge. In a world ruled by superstition and the church, to study nature's mysteries, lightnings, storms, disease, was to risk being branded a heretic. So perhaps beneath the folklore, the Scholomance represents the hidden scholars, the alchemists and the magi who dared to question divine law. In some versions, the devil himself is not evil, but a dark teacher of truth, revealing the secrets of creation that the church sought to bury. The price for enlightenment? Your soul. It's a haunting metaphor, one that still echoes today. How much would you sacrifice to know the unknowable? So the modern interpretations.
That's just, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just don't have words for how all the things you just said to me. I mean, I can't get past maybe I need to sacrifice a human so I can have this big storm because we need a storm.
I feel like you're taking a test.
Yeah.
Because this is a school, right? So you're taking a test, and in order to get the highest A, you gotta sacrifice a human. But if you're okay with just a C, a bird will do. You know what I'm saying?
But my question is, who sacrifices? So what I mean, do people seek these, what you call them, Scholomance? Yeah, Scholomance. Do the people seek them out to request the storms? Did I hear that right? Or did I?
Those are the ones that didn't graduate.
Those are the not graduating ones.
They are cast out of there and onto roam the earth, basically. But they've already been cast out by the villages. So the farmers would ask them for favors and ask them to bring rain and things. But if they were offended or you refused to do something for them or whatever, they could completely ruin all of your everything.
Right, but that's who determines what type of sacrifice is required. Is that correct? I'm just really confused.
I think you're confused.
I think I am.
Well, I mean, I guess the students themselves would decide what exactly, because it was basically they were trying to perform things as a lesson, and the bigger the sacrifice, the more power you would have with it, so the better it would be,
I guess what I'm getting at is if you had to sacrifice a human, and I think I got confused thinking that people were requesting these things of them, and then that's going to be, this is what you're going to have to sacrifice, a family member. And how do you decide who's the family member, or do they tell you? That was what was confusing me. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
No, this is in the school. So this is during lessons. Yes.
Okay.
So if, say, the devil said that they needed to call the thunder, the bigger the thunder, the better the grade, essentially, which means they would need a bigger sacrifice in order to get the bigger thunder.
So they have to go leave the school to retrieve a human, or they just have a cellar full of humans?
Because I kind of wondered that myself. Where are they getting these birds and people? I'm assuming that they're probably brought to them, and perhaps that's something that the ones that did not graduate have to go out and do, or
They're
previous
the
ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
I follow now.
All right. So the modern interpretations. The Scholomance has lived on through the centuries, reappearing in books, films, and games. Recently, Naomi Novik's fantasy series, A Deadly Education, reimagined it as a deadly magic school that traps students in constant peril. A modern echo of the original myth, but the Romanian version remains far darker. In modern Sibiu, locals still speak of Lake Hermistat with hushed voices. Divers report odd magnetic anomalies beneath the water. Storms seem to form unnaturally fast above it. There are stories of drowned shepherds whose bodies never float up, as though something below holds them down. Old villagers will tell you not to speak of it after sunset. They'll say that Scholomance still stands beneath the lake, that the devil still teaches there, his voice rumbling in thunder, and that somewhere in the world, 13 new students walk the earth, waiting for their call to descend once more.
Wow, that's very Bermuda Triangle of the weather and such there.
It is indeed. And now I kind of wonder, were they drawn down into the water as a sacrifice?
Oh.
I mean, it could
questions.
be. The dark legacy of it all. The Scolomance's shadow reaches far beyond folklore. Its themes, forbidden study, sacrifice, temptation, are found in every dark myth of human ambition. From Faust's deal with Mephistopheles, to Dr. Frankenstein's unnatural creation, to the very concept of the mad scientist, each one owns a whisper to the Scholomance. The school beneath the mountain is not just a place. It's a state of mind, a dark mirror held up to humanity's endless hunger for knowledge, no matter what the cost. Perhaps that's the true terror of the Scholomance, that it isn't fiction, it's a reflection. Because even now, we build our own Scolomances. Laboratories hidden from the public, technologies we don't understand but unleash anyway. And that face.
I'm sorry. It's just that I just felt like our podcast labs just got called a Scholomance.
I mean, it's true. We do that, though.
Okay.
Every day. Oh,
dear.
Right. And the question remains the same as it did beneath that haunted lake. How much are we willing to trade for power, for wisdom, and for control over nature itself? So the next time thunder shakes your windows and lightning flashes in the sky, listen closely, because it might not just be the weather. It might be the devil himself teaching another lesson to his students in the dark. What do you think? Legend? Long lost reality? Muses? Tell us your thoughts.
I mean, when I was little, I was told that all that thunder was coming from God Bowling.
Right. Yeah. So now
I don't know.
This
That's
is like
just
the exact opposite of that. So
just wild.
But that is not untrue the way that they put that. When you look at it that way, I mean, like we do have laboratories in secret and the, unknown technologies and all of that. This is all very true, especially nowadays.
Absolutely it is.
I mean,
so weird. I was just thinking about that, how weird it, like my phone. I needed to get into my bank account and I scanned my thumb.
Yes.
With the screen of my phone.
Everything is set on my thumbprint. And it's like.
Or it can scan your face.
Yeah. See, I refuse to do that.
My watch can tell me how chunky I am.
Yeah.
My watch can scan.
They have retina scanners. They can scan your eyeballs.
Crazy.
It's wild. So yeah, if you think about it, it's not that crazy.
It is actually crazy to think about.
I mean, it is. It definitely is. But it's not like, I don't know. I mean, it's not the same. I mean, of course, we don't have to go out and sacrifice a critter or a human, you know what I mean? Like to use the computer.
No, but think about...
then you think about weather manipulation and
your bubble.
Right, yeah. So...
But think about what we have actually sacrificed, that we do sacrifice, because...
Right.
So we sacrificed our need for human interaction, because now we have we can just message each other on whatever, or we can watch what everyone's doing on their social medias, and we don't ever actually have to interact with a human in person. So maybe we are sacrificing things.
I mean, that's also true. So there's some things for you guys to ponder upon, and I know we'll be listening along with you guys next week on this episode. So definitely let us know what you think in the comments, and if you agree that we really do sacrifice to have knowledge.
Do you remember being told that no, we couldn't use a calculator during math class because you would always have a calculator on you? False.
Yeah. So yeah. Let's discuss that in the comments once we get to that point for sure. I want to hear other people's opinions. How many legends from that far back are holding true to this day and just in a different form? We could go real deep.
That was a lot.
So we don't want to. It really was. It's mentioned in the World of Warcraft series stuff, I believe. It's mentioned, like I said, Bram Stoker. It's mentioned, there's several books that mention it. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there may be mention in some D&D campaigns.
If not,
you
just give somebody an idea for a whole...
If not, then you're welcome. Let me know.
Yes.
Give
her a little credit, please.
I like to watch people play D&D. All right. So anyway, yes, it has been mentioned in a lot of things. If you Google it, you'll probably bring up all kinds of stuff. I found all kinds of stuff while looking for it.
I'm not going to talk to you about anything fun to do with Halloween. I don't know why I decided to bring it down all of the notches, but it was what I found. I found it when I was looking for a missing person, where I've been doing those on people who become missing on Halloween. And so this is the Halloween murders of Ronald Sisman and Elizabeth Platzman. This took place Halloween night in New York City, October 31st, 1981. Let's start with who they were. Ronald Sisman was a 39-year-old professional photographer. He lived and worked out of his duplex apartment on 10th Avenue in Chelsea. His space doubled as a studio where he shot fashion and commercial work. He had a reputation in creative circles, but also whispers followed him, rumors of cocaine connections, and of debts. Elizabeth Lee Platzman, daughter of Paul Platzman and Rita Jane Hansen, was just 20, an art student at Smith College in Massachusetts, visiting from her family home in Long Island. She was bright, creative, and had no known enemies. Some accounts describe her as Sisman's girlfriend, others as a student drawn to his orbit through photography. She is an art student. Neighbors reported hearing loud noises, maybe even gunshots, coming from Sisman's apartment that night at about 11 p.m. Concerned, they called the police. When officers entered the living area of the duplex, they were met with a scene of horror. Both Ronald and Elizabeth were dead. Each had been shot execution style in the back of the head. The apartment was ransacked, drawers pulled out, belongings scattered as if someone had been searching for something specific. It looked deliberate, not like a burglary gone wrong. Police immediately suspected drugs. Sisman's rumored ties to cocaine made him a natural target. The ransacked apartment suggested someone was hunting for drugs or cash. But the execution-style killings raised another possibility: a professional hit. It wasn't random violence, it was methodical. Investigators believed Elizabeth was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. A young woman with no criminal ties caught up in something she had nothing to do with. And then the case took a stranger turn. In the mid-1980s, imprisoned serial killer David Berkowitz, the infamous son of Sam, began talking. But he began talking, and he claimed that Sisman and Platzman's murders weren't about drugs at all. Instead, he said they were carried out by a satanic cult connected to his own crimes. According to Berkowitz, Sisman had somehow obtained a snuff film of a Son of Sam shooting, and the cult killed him to retrieve it. Investigators were skeptical. Berkowitz was known for manipulative storytelling. But here's the chilling part. Some of the details he gave about the crime scene matched reality. No film was ever found. No cult members were ever identified. And the theory remains one of the most controversial threads in the case. Despite multiple theories, drugs, a professional hit, or a cult execution, the case went cold. No suspects were ever arrested. No charges were ever filed. For Elizabeth's family, the tragedy was unbearable. Their daughter, a promising art student, was reduced in headlines to co-ed slain in photographer's apartment. While her parents didn't give extensive public interviews, the tone of coverage made clear that they wanted her remembered as a promising young woman, not just the co-ed in a lurid crime story. Unlike some families who become vocal advocates after a senseless death, Platzmans appear to have grieved privately. There are no records of them engaging in public campaigns or interviews about the case in the decades that followed. For Ronald, the whispers about drugs and crime overshadowed his career as a working photographer. And I tried multiple times using different wording, and I was completely unable to find any of Sisman's photography at all.
Oh.
Not one bit. When I typed in his name, I don't know if I'm not using right keywords or what, but I couldn't find any of his work anywhere. When you typed in his name, it just comes up with articles about the murder. I started to have kept that a little bit short. There wasn't a whole lot on it, but I hadn't really.
There's not.
But my other question is, if he is in jail when this happened, correct? That someone from his little cult.
Right.
Do they not read inmate mail?
I don't know about back then, because you think a lot of people have a lot of letters and things from back then.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'll have to look into that. That's a good question.
If they were telling him, hey, this is what happened and here's the information.
Right.
I mean, I have many questions.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my little case.
All right. So there are books, and then there are books. Not the kind you read by candlelight on a stormy night, but the kind that read you back.
Oh, what do you mean they read me back?
Well,
Okay.
So, tomes that whisper from the margins, that seem to pulse faintly with the residue of their author's obsessions, or perhaps their damnation. So tonight, we open 5 of the world's most haunting volumes, manuscripts said to hold secrets of heaven, hell, and everything in between. And then we turn from parchment to flesh, to the sacred remains of saints whose bodies become relics, preserved, venerated, and sometimes feared.
This is fascinating.
All right, so let's begin with the Codex, which is the Devil's Bible. It's said that somewhere within a Czech monastery in the 13th century, a single monk faced death. Condemned for breaking his vows, he made a desperate plea: allow him one night, just one, to write a book that would glorify the monastery forever. As the story goes, the monk realized the task was impossible, so he made another plea, this time with the devil himself. By dawn, the massive tome was complete. Nearly 3 feet tall, weighing over 160 pounds, it contains the entire Bible, medical texts, exorcism rituals, and a full-page portrait of the devil.
Can I order that from a local bookstore?
No, ma'am. There's just someone, and I'll tell you where it is in a minute. I don't know that I would want it myself.
Barnes & Noble isn't just going to have it right there on the shelf.
That's not true. I like all books, even
you know very
ones
well
that I 1000% should not have. So they called it the Codex Gigas, the giant book. Some say it was cursed. Others say it was a pact made real. The pages are still there today, preserved in the National Library of Sweden. And when you stare into the devil's eyes on that inky page, you might feel the same chill that monks felt centuries ago, that this wasn't the work of a man at all. So that's the Codex. I have pictures of the book, lots of pictures of the book. Oh, yeah. There's pictures, and then there's the picture of the devil, which I must admit is somewhat kind of comical, if I'm being completely honest.
All righty.
Yeah, it made me giggle. So next up, we have the Voynich manuscript, the book that no one can read.
What?
That's right.
Listen, I am so intrigued right now. You have no idea. I translate things that 4-year-olds write on the daily.
Right.
Like, what do you mean no one can read it? If I read it out loud, am I going to get cursed? I must shut up.
You'll see. Now we move on to something stranger still, a book that no one can read. Written in a language that belongs to no known people, illustrated with plants that don't exist on Earth. The Voynich manuscript appeared in the 1400s and has defied explanation ever since. Cryptographers, linguists...
I'm sorry, it's a real book.
Yes, this is a real book. I also have pictures of that.
Okay, when you finish with this little section about this little thing, I'm going to have another question.
Okay. So cryptographers, linguists, even AI algorithms have all tried to decode it, but the language, if it is one, remains completely unbroken. Some believe it's an elaborate hoax. Others whisper that it's a book from another world or a grimoire written in a tongue that only the initiated or the damned can understand.
That sort of makes sense.
It does. So whatever it is, the Voynich manuscript refuses to yield its secrets. And maybe that's the point. Some knowledge, after all, is meant to stay hidden.
Okay, here is my question about it.
Okay.
Why is it called the Voynich manuscript?
Wilfred M. Voynich purchased the manuscript from the Jesuit college near Rome. I need to look more into this one because this one's more fascinating to me. Our next one, we have the Grand Grimoire, or the Devil's Text, a book said to contain the ritual for summoning Lucifer himself. First appearing in the 16th century, this infamous grimoire instructs the reader how to call upon Lucifuge Rofocal, a demon king who promises knowledge, power, and riches. It outlines the tools you'll need, the prayers you'll invert, and the contract you'll sign. It's said the original text is kept locked away in the Vatican's secret archives. But not because the church reveres it, but because they fear it. Scholars call it folklore. Occultists call it dangerous, but if you've ever looked into the eyes of someone who believes they've spoken with something they shouldn't have, you might wonder whether the Grand Grimoire is just ink on paper or something that writes itself into the soul of whoever dares to open it. Okay, so next up, we have the Book of Soiga, the book that knew the name of God in the 1500s. John Dee, mathematician, astrologer, and advisor to Queen Elizabeth I, came into possession of a book that would haunt him for the rest of his life. It was called the Book of Soiga. Filled with codes, tables, and angelic invocations, it was said to contain secret knowledge possibly revealed to Adam before the fall. Dee could not decipher it. Even his scryer, Edward Kelly, who claimed to speak to angels through mirrors of obsidian, could not unlock its final pages. Dee asked his angels what the book meant. They answered that only the Archangel Michael himself knew. Then the book resurfaced centuries later. Modern cryptographers found that its codes were mathematically complex, structured in ways that suggest both logic and madness, And like all cursed books, it ends not in understanding, but in silence.
So, fun fact, I was accidentally reading just a little bit ahead. And you said, the book that knew the name of God. And then the next thing I saw was John D. And I thought, well, that ain't it.
That's not his name.
No.
Amy was like, we would have heard that before.
I feel like no.
No, but that's pretty funny. I like it.
You're welcome.
Oh my John D.
I just
That's what I'm saying from now on. Because here's the thing. The amount of people over this time that OMG has been a thing that has been offended. Now I'm just going to say, oh my John D.
OMGD. Oh, OMJD rather.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait a minute. GD's not going to work either, but
yeah.
Oh my JD. I like it. Making that a thing.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Did the modern cryptographers say that it said any of the things these people claim?
No.
Or it's just someone's
no.
They found that
the codes were mathematically complex and structured in ways that suggest both logic and madness.
Okay. But we don't know where this is now.
2 manuscripts from the Book of Soiga are located in the British Library and the Bodleian Library, I believe, having both been discovered in 1994 after the text was thought lost for centuries. So there are 2 pages from it that still exist.
Wow.
Yeah.
What happened to the rest?
I don't know. So
rediscovered them where? I don't know. We're trying to keep it brief, and then I have other questions.
I might make these a thing because this is interesting.
Okay.
So last on the list for our manuscripts is the Necronomicon, the Book of Dead Names. And then,
wow,
you didn't know that?
That's what that's called now?
Yes.
Oh, I mean,
yes, still.
I didn't mean to say,
right,
that's what it's called now. It's the Book of Dead Names?
Yes.
Wow. What a time to be alive. So it's called the Book of Dead Names. I've only ever heard of it called the Book of the Dead. And it's
I've heard
H.P. Lovecraft thing.
Right. Okay. There is the most infamous grimoire that ever existed, or perhaps always existed, the Necronomicon. First mentioned by H.P. Lovecraft in the 1920s, this so-called Book of Dead Names was said to have been written by a mad Arab named Abdul al-Hazred. Within its pages lay the names of the old ones, cosmic gods sleeping beyond the stars. To speak their names was to call them forth. Though Lovecraft insisted it was fiction, something strange happened. People began to find copies. Fake Necronomicons appeared in the 1970s, bound in leather, filled with sigils and incantations. Some readers swore they could feel a pulse beneath the cover. Perhaps
that's what you were talking about, the book reading me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's gross.
I know, right? Anyway, perhaps that's the true power of forbidden books, that belief can make fiction into faith. We've traveled through texts that bridge the divine and the damned. Now we cross into something a little more intimate. Relics of flesh and bone. While grimoires promise forbidden knowledge, relics promise something else. Proof of holiness that defies decay. In church and cathedrals across Europe, fragments of saints are enshrined. Bones, teeth, hair, even hearts. Each tells a story, not just of faith, but of how the human body itself becomes a sacred artifact.
I'm guessing when you said, what was it you said there? Something more intimate.
Oh, yes.
That you're not meaning the Kama Sutra?
Unfortunately not.
Well, all right, because...
And if you, I
was wondering where we were going with this podcast.
Some of it, right? So anybody that's kind of familiar with any kind of relics, some of them are pretty weird. but I dug to find the weirdest that I could possibly find. So we're going to...
I'm excited.
Okay. So number 1, St. Clair's hair and nails. In the quiet town of Assisi, within the Basilica of St. Clair, relics rest behind glass, golden strands of hair, and small preserved fingernails.
No, they used to do the funeral things with the hair. I'm sorry. They used to do make the really pretty art with the hair.
The hair.
The fingernails. That sounds like gross. Okay.
Right? St. Clair, follower of St. Francis, lived a life of poverty and devotion. When she died in 1253, her sisters kept these simple pieces of her, tokens of sanctity. Her hair, soft and silvery now, still draws pilgrims. Her nails, trimmed in humility, are said to protect against vanity. They are fragile relics, but enduring ones reminders that holiness, too, leaves traces of the mundane. All right, that may actually be the most normal thing, so you know.
Are you kidding me right now?
Up next, the teats of Saint Elizabeth of Thuringia. The teats
Bambi
of Saint Elizabeth
Bambi
of Thuringia.
Hold on. No, we put people who make things out of people's teats, such as belts, behind bars.
Well,
what do you mean?
Teats.
Stop it! Why? Her teats. Oh, what?
So, okay, carry on. So the teats of Saint Elizabeth of Thuringia. Then there are relics that unsettle even the faithful, like the teats of Saint Elizabeth of Thuringia. So Elizabeth, a 13th century princess turned nun, was known for her compassion for the poor. But after her death, relics of her body were distributed across Europe, including, it is said, pieces of her breasts preserved as symbols of her maternal care and self-sacrifice. Though strange in modern minds, in medieval thought, the body of the saint was an extension of their virtue, every part capable of miracle. Milk, flesh, bone, all channels of divine grace. So there you have St. Elizabeth's teats.
I don't want them. Give them back.
I got some things.
Plenty. Is that real? Like her titties are just somewhere?
Well, I mean, it's not like the whole, they're pieces. So they didn't just chop them off and pass them around in pieces.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to. Your Uber's here. You have to go now. Okay.
I'm busy.
I'm busy that day. Thanks.
Carry on then.
Okay. So next up we have the heart of St. Camillus de Lillis. At the Church of St. Mary Magdalene in Rome, a small ornate reliquary holds something extraordinary. The preserved heart of St. Camillus de Lillis. Camillus founded the order of the ministers of the sick, dedicating his life to the dying and the destitute. His heart beat with such compassion that after death it refused to decay. Today, the heart remains encased in crystal and silver, still reddish, still human, a physical emblem of divine mercy.
No, it's really fun to say.
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm still stuck on the teats. I did go through and try to find only ones with pictures. So all of the ones that I have here, there are pictures, including the teats pieces. All right, so next up, we have St. Catherine's head. In Siena, Italy, a saint still looks out through time. St. Catherine of Siena, mystic and doctor of the church, died in Rome in 1380. But her head, detached and smuggled back to her hometown, now rests in the Basilica of San Domenico. Her face...
Someone detached her head.
Correct.
The rest of her, they weren't interested in.
Right.
Again, we jail people for this.
They
in prison.
wanted to take it home.
Them. Oh, right.
I mean, it was 1380, to be fair. So her face, pale and waxen, was framed by a golden halo. Beneath the glass, her eyes seemed to have witnessed centuries of prayer, grief, and awe. They call her the Bride of Christ, and some say her gaze can still pierce the soul. Saint Anthony's jaw and tongue, and in and in Padua, Italy, lies perhaps the most haunting relic of all. I beg to differ, but okay. The tongue of Saint Anthony. When his tomb was opened in 1263, years after burial, his body had turned to dust, except for his tongue. It was found moist, you're welcome, uncorrupted.
Oh, God. No.
I'm sorry. Kind of. Uncorrupted, as if it was still ready to speak. Anthony had been known as a powerful preacher. His words were said to bring sinners to tears and miracles to life. The faithful believed God preserved his tongue as a testament to the power of the word itself. Today, it glistens darkly in a reliquary alongside his jaw, which it lays in, and his vocal cords, the instruments of divine speech kept from decay. Yes, before I finish this, how did the jaw also somehow and the vocal cords manage to survive when everything else turned to dust?
His jaw and tongue, but they don't want to mention that also his vocal cords until...
Well, they're in the same glass reliquary. Yes, ma'am.
Why did they open the tomb?
I don't know. It was 1263. I'm not sure why they did a lot of things.
Like, whatever became of the head of John the Baptist?
I almost did him also. It's a relic.
Stop.
Yes, it is. He was decapitated.
Yeah, someone requested, I can't think of her name. Requested his head on a silver platter.
A skull in Amiens Cathedral in France. So, from forbidden books to sacred flesh, humanity has always reached beyond the mortar veil, searching for proof, for power, for meaning. We bind spirits in ink. We preserved holiness in bone. We build entire faiths on the hope that what is divine can touch what is human, and what is human might never truly die. Perhaps every relic, every cursed manuscript, and every sacred bone tells the same story, that human desire to know is as eternal and as dangerous as the soul. Hey guys, we went over the classes of relics, and I kind of forgot to tell you guys what we were doing, so we are going to throw that in right here. So, first class are the body or fragments of saints. Second class are personal possessions of a saint. And third class are items touched to a first or second class relic.
Alrighty.
So there you have it.
Bringing it down again, as I do, apparently. I have a missing moment. Again, I was searching for persons who came up missing on or close to Halloween. This story is Aisha Nicole Jackson, a 22-year-old woman from El Dorado, Arkansas, vanished under mysterious circumstances on October 31st or the early hours of November 1st, 2020. She was last seen leaving a Halloween party at a nightclub in Camden, Arkansas, and returning to her home on Stewart Avenue later that night. I want to give a little timeline of some things that happened. October 24th through the 30th of 2020, her home was burglarized twice in 1 week. No items of obvious value were reported missing, but the intrusions, of course, raised alarm for the family and the neighbors. the 31st, that morning, her mother received a call indicating that Aisha had planned to travel to Houston to help her uncle and his ex-wife move furniture. She did not follow through with this. Later that evening, she attended the Halloween festivities in Camden, Arkansas, and she was accompanied by a group of friends and family members, and then she returned to her home in El Dorado. November 1st to the 2nd of 2020, she failed to respond to repeated calls and texts. On November 2nd, her mother went to Aisha's home, where she found the door cracked open. In the house were her cell phone, her purse, and a duffel bag, but no signs of a struggle were reported. Okay. An official missing person report was filed by the family with El Dorado Police Department on November 4th. The El Dorado Police Department launched a full investigation. They canvassed the neighborhood. They reviewed surveillance video and deployed canine units that searched areas nearby. So 2 men were arrested on peripheral charges. One individual's charges were later dismissed. A second man, Kenneth Lee, who was 46, was charged with extortion after allegedly demanding $8,000 from Aisha's family in exchange for information on her whereabouts.
That is so gross.
It's disgusting. Those charges remain active. After his arrest on extortion charges, he appears to have posted bond and been released pending trial. I could not find anything stating otherwise.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Time to have that trial. I'm sorry, the court systems are busy. I realize this. It's just frustrating.
They are, but not all situations are they all that great either. So
investigators did, however, identify her former boyfriend as one of the 2 initial persons of interest alongside her uncle. That was in the early weeks of the investigation. As for her uncle, no formal charges were ever brought. After multiple interviews, law enforcement concluded there wasn't enough corroborating evidence, such as physical proof or credible witness testimony or forensic links, to establish probable cause for an arrest. Apparently, the 2 were really close.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that said that she had been living with her uncle for a few days after the break-ins at her own place.
So that would also make sense as to why they may have tied him or tried to. Yeah.
Yes. El Dorado Crime Stoppers offered a $3,000 reward for tips leading to an arrest or conviction in Aisha's case. To date, no one has been charged in connection with her disappearance. Tips on this case arrive sporadically, and they're usually clustered around media features and anniversary vigils. And of course, when the reward was highlighted, because everybody has something to say then.
Always.
Aisha's mother, I believe it's Laquita Parker, has been a vocal advocate. She is quoted as saying, "I know somebody out there knows where she is. Whoever is out there, they know what happened." Of course, media coverage from local outlets like myarclemis.com and national platforms continue to spotlight her case, hoping that renewed public interest will surface new leads. Renewing public interest is one of the reasons I do this little segment. I just really think that it's important that we don't forget the names of any of these people who go missing. So again, Aisha Jackson was a 22-year-old Black female, approximately 5 feet 2 inches tall, and weighing about 115 pounds at the time of her disappearance. She was last seen wearing Halloween attire, which was described as a white t-shirt splattered with red dye, a short black tutu skirt, and black patterned tights. If you have any information regarding this case, you can contact the El Dorado Police Department tip line at 870-881-4800 or the Black and Missing Foundation at 877-972-2634.
Wow. There's just too many just vanishing. I'll never understand it.
I don't either. The perfect crime does not exist. Yes. With all the modern technology we have and cameras everywhere,
to me.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
That anybody could ever go missing ever.
Yeah, I agree. There's too much. It's another head scratcher.
It is. Missing people are just head scratchers in general for me.
Yeah.
And then, when I'm reading this stuff and I'm researching it, and then I'm like, what do you mean you didn't arrest this person or didn't question them further? And this is the things that they said. Or
I get really mad about those, especially when it's people that should be in that category of the closest people are checked first. Situations like that really, really just drive it home for me that some of them just really don't make any sense.
I think that if probable cause is what is holding back a lot of people from being arrested or questioned or whatever, that maybe we need to update the definition of probable cause.
Absolutely. I agree. They have to be so careful with things nowadays because if they breathe,
don't want to be seen as going on a witch hunt.
Right. And it's like, sometimes that's okay with me. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be nothing,
or we can't hurt people's feelings
to the wall. You know what I'm saying? There's a happy medium in there somewhere that I am sure we can find answers in there somewhere. But alas, we can't really have it that way. And then there's the corrupt stuff with, some places and people with the law enforcement. And that's a thing also, which is really
it is a thing. I hate it.
But there's just too many factors
and then
nowadays. And I feel like a lot of missing people.
And everybody makes an excuse for people.
Oh, God.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, this.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, because there's a reason for literally everything. And there's just not sometimes. Sometimes people just suck with these people that just vanish, drop off the face of the earth. There's so much more that could be done. And I mean, I've watched so many of these cases and they have exhausted literally every single resource that they can throw at it. And it's just like, people don't just vanish. They may vanish from their home or their yard or their porch. They're somewhere. So
correct. It makes me very, very angry.
Yeah, me too. We always, of course, try to keep up with these cases on here. If we ever get updates on any of them, we will always shout them out and let everybody know.
If you're following Heather Teague's case, just always be checking her mom's page because she is never not vocal, and good for her.
I know. I keep up
with her mom, like Sarah Teague,
literally every day. I check her page. So it's definitely a good one to watch for because things are moving along. Like, not moving along exactly, but
they're moving.
Stuff is
not
in
as
motion.
Quick as they should be, but things are
not by any means. It seems. But yeah, things are in motion. So that's good. I'm glad. So I guess that is all as far as the episode goes. We hope you enjoyed hanging out with us. If you were able to stop by, if you were not, this will be published like it normally would. So you are still welcome to talk to us in the comments. We can still comment and answer you there if you have any questions or wanted to say anything. And if you guys like this, let us know. We will definitely do some more of these. I guess we will call this episode and fabulous Halloween done. We hope you had fun with us. We appreciate you being here. And as always, if you've got your own macabre musings, tales, questions, or lore you're dying to hear, find us on Facebook or drop us a line at Macabre.Musings.Podcast at gmail.com.
All right, Muses, I hope you've had an amazing Halloween. I hope that your bag is full of all of your favorite candies. I hope that you won best costume at whatever costume party you were at. Pull up a chair next time as we dive into more dark, creepy lore and maybe tumble down a rabbit hole or two. Until then, keep your lanterns low and your curiosities high.
And until next time, stay safe, stay spooky, and we will see y'all later.